Hello, welcome to Luke429, episode number 1. I am Michael. I'm going to be the host on this show. This is a new show that I've been thinking about for about a year. I've been wanting to do it for a long time, but I'm a preacher. I've got things going on. I'm trying to write sermons and give sermons and write classes and do classes. I got a lot of things going on, so I've been wanting to do this for a long time. Just never got around to it. Well, now I'm ready to do it. I'm gung-ho on this. What this show is about is pop culture. If you think about it, pop culture runs everything in our lives. We can say that, but let's really think about it for a moment. If we look at politics, or laws, legislation, all the rules and restrictions that get passed, where do they come from? Is it based on truth? Is it based on knowledge and wisdom and understanding? Is it based on what's best for the people, or is it based on what people want? What's going to make people happy? Our laws, the very things that guide our life in this culture, are based on, they have the foundation of pop culture. If we look at our education system, the same thing applies. If we look at business and economy, if we look at science, which is supposed to be completely devoid of any of that stuff, there's no opinion involved in it, it's just fact. It is a scientific method determined to prove one thing or disprove another, whatever it is. Sadly, a lot of it today is simply based on popular opinion. What's really tragic is that religion is in the same boat. Religion is no longer based on truth. What we view as Christianity isn't based on truth. It's based on popular opinion. It's giving people what they want, not what they need. It's appealing to them, making them comfortable, making them feel good about themselves rather than preaching the truth. And so this show, it's not a religious show. It's not going to be a Christian show. We're going to examine all the things out there in the world. But over time, hopefully you'll understand that there is a truth. There is an authority for truth. But most of what's going on in our lives has nothing to do with it. It's not based on that. It's based on pop culture. Pop culture, what is that? Well, it's movies. It's music. It's the mass media. It's fashion. It's art. Really, it's anything we deem it to be. Whatever makes it into the public consciousness. All of a sudden, we latch on to that, and that's just the way it is. That's what we think and how we think, and that's how we want it to be. Doesn't mean it's the truth. Doesn't mean there's one shred of truth in it. Just means that's what we're thinking. We want to use this show to take the issues of the day. Take the things that are going on around us and to just stop, take a breath, think about it. Go back to the source. Let's stop being so reactionary. Stop just jumping on a bandwagon and running with it, even though it makes no sense. There's no truth behind it. There's no wisdom to it. That's what we do as a culture all the time. Have you ever heard a 5-second soundbite and become enraged? Thought, oh my goodness, I can't believe they said that. How dare they say that? Where did they get off saying that? You never went back and listened to the whole thing, did you? You never put it in context and understood what they were talking about. Instead, you allowed this chopped up little bitty piece, one line, one sentence, maybe not even a full sentence, just a few words, whatever it was, you allowed that thing to enrage you. You've been manipulated. You were enraged because someone wanted you to be enraged. Have you ever been on Facebook and saw a headline, an article that somebody shared, and that just, man, it got you? I can't believe it. Why are they doing that? Why are they being like that? You never read the article. You didn't go back to the source. You never looked at the context. You never looked at everything. You've been manipulated. It happens all the time. It happens constantly. There's so much in our society today where people are running with a mob mentality. They've got that group think because it's been implanted in their brains. in all different areas of our life. But we never even stop to think, is it even the truth? That's what we're going to do on this show. We want to look at the truth. Why Luke 4:29? Well, as I said, I'm a preacher. Luke 4:29 comes from the Bible. I think the Bible is the authority on truth. I don't apologize for that. And hopefully over the course of these next many shows, you'll come to agree with me. You may not, and that's okay. But that's the lens I view things through, because as I've studied the Bible and I've gone forward and backward through it, I've realized how much truth is in there. It is very contrary to popular opinion, obviously. We know it's contrary to popular opinion today. But there is truth there. There is rationale. There is reason. Luke 4:29. I named this show that because it comes from the book of Luke, chapter 4:29. Let's read that verse. It says, "And they got up and drove him out of the city, and led him to the brow of the hill on which their city had been built, in order to throw him down the cliff." The him is Jesus. The people that are doing this are the ones that are in the synagogue. People in the synagogue are trying to throw Jesus off a cliff. Why would they do that? Well, let's put it in context. That's what we do. Let's go back and look at the context. What's happening here is Jesus. This is the very beginning of his ministry. He goes into the synagogue. He starts reading from the prophets. He starts teaching. And the people are wowed. Because who is this guy? His dad is Joseph. He's the son of a carpenter, right? This guy shouldn't be in here preaching and teaching the way he is. He's got this understanding. Where did it come from? Jesus explains to them what's going on. He says, "Today the scripture has been fulfilled." And he's talking about himself being the Son of God. And then, this is where it gets interesting. Then he says, "I'm not going to be doing these miracles. I'm not going to be doing all these crazy things to prove things here because I'm in my hometown. My hometown is going to reject me. They don't want me. You don't want me." That's what he says. And what is their reaction? They're enraged. How dare you say that? How dare you say we're going to reject you because we're from your hometown? And to prove their point, they try to throw him off a cliff. Does that really make sense? Does that make any sense at all? How dare you say we're going to reject you? Why would you say that? We're mad at you. We're going to throw you off a cliff. They just proved his point. Why would they do that? That's the most unintelligent thing you can do. That's completely backwards thinking. That's mob mentality. Welcome to 2015 Earth. That's what we do. It's not new. They were doing it to Jesus. They were doing it before Jesus. It's been going on for a long, long time. Doesn't make it right. Doesn't make it right. Popular opinion is not truth. What we want to be doesn't mean will be. What we hope is right, just because we hope it's right, doesn't mean it is right. There must be a truth, and if we're not following that truth, we're following a lie. I think everyone watching would agree. Just because 51% of the population thinks something is true doesn't mean it's true. And the reason you would agree with that is because I guarantee there's something. There is some opinion you have, some belief you have that not everyone agrees with. You are in the minority based on something. Does that make it untrue? You'd say, of course not, because we all want to believe what we believe. What I think is true, right? What I think is true. And so just because no one else thinks it doesn't mean it's not true. Everyone agrees with that. Then we have the foundation, where everything that runs our life does agree with that. Everything going on in our world is based on what popular opinion says. What pop culture is telling us. That doesn't make it right. And let's think about it for a second. Why would we want to build our lives on pop culture? Pop culture is the most fleeting thing there is. It's here today, it's gone tomorrow. And so we're teaching our kids things in school that are probably not going to be true in a year or two, 5 years, 10 years. And we know it. We're putting things out there in science textbooks that are wrong. And we know it. We'll get into that in later episodes. We're basing laws, guiding people's lives on things that are not true. Our economy is moving up and down and all over. Businesses are making business decisions that impact other people's lives based on pop culture and popular opinion. The foundation of popular opinion will crumble. It does crumble. It always crumbles. Eventually, given enough time, opinion changes. The mood swings. But we've just built the foundation of our entire lives on top of it. Basically, we've built our lives on a lie. Let's stop doing that. Let's stop believing the lie. Let's start thinking. Let's start thinking about truth. Let's not get enraged over articles and sound bites, over what Hollywood wants us to believe, what the political correct police want us to think, and how they want us to act, the things they want us to say. Let's stop doing that. Because it's ridiculous. It benefits no one. It doesn't work. It's a lie and it will crumble. I encourage you not to base your life on a lie. As we go through this show, we're going to be exploring several of these different topics. We're going to be looking at all the headlines. What's going on in popular opinion today? What is happening in pop culture? What do people want you to think? And why should you not think it? Like my page. Subscribe to my page. I'm going to be putting up more videos soon. We're going to be getting into more specific areas. Hopefully lots of specific areas, and hopefully this is going to be a show that can bring you to some understanding, help develop some thought processes so that we can really get to the truth of the matter. My name's Michael. Thanks for joining me. Look for me soon. I'm going to have more coming up. Have a good one. Bye.